friends, and good afternoon. It's me, Miss Jill. I know lots of you are familiar with me. I've been going live every Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock to show you how to do something. Just for anyone who's new to this or have no idea who I am, like I said, my name is Miss Jill. I am a children's librarian at the Erlanger Library. That's primarily where I work. You can sometimes see me at Covington or Durr as well, but I'm usually always at Erlanger. And so I've been going live every Wednesday at 4 o'clock to show you how to. Now, this is my last how-to for maybe ever. I have no idea. I might be back later in the summer or in the fall. We aren't quite sure what's going to be happening with all of our programs, but we are going to be continuing this on Wednesday afternoons at 4 o'clock. Next week, you'll get to see Mr. Brandon. If anyone has come to Erlanger, especially does stuff back in the Stream Center, you probably know who he is. And then we're going to see some other familiar faces throughout the month as well. So Wednesdays are staying for kids and family activities, and we are continuing our how-to on Monday afternoons as well, but we are switching the focus over to more adults type things because we know all of you adults at home are looking for things to do too. It's not always just about the little ones. Maybe you don't have any kids or your kids are older and have no interest in this stuff. So we're doing some stuff for you. And then we will be continuing our Thursday afternoons how-to videos all in Spanish with Miss Dagmar. So if you are a Spanish speaker or know any Spanish speakers, you should definitely tell them about that. She's doing some really cool stuff, and it's awesome that she's reaching our Spanish-speaking populations. Now, before we get started today, I want to tell you guys a couple of little things. Now remember, on Monday, June 1st, we are starting our summer reading celebration. So I know lots of you guys have done summer reading before. If you have no idea what that is, you can find information on our website, here on our Facebook page. You can check it out. So you guys should sign up for that. You can do that, like I said, starting on Monday, June 1st, and we are going to be having a virtual kickoff event. I know lots of you know we usually have big events in our branches. We have tons of people coming, getting book logs and doing crafts and fun activities. There's sometimes bounce houses and pizza. Well, we unfortunately can't do that this year, but we are going to be having a virtual summer reading kickoff on June 6th. That's a Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So you guys should all tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So for book logs this year, the library will be opening on June 8th. So you can get some paper book logs in the branch if you're comfortable coming in on June 8th, or you can use our app through our website. You can sign up in an app called Beanstack. There will be more information about that coming. You can also pick up book logs through our drive-thrus, which are currently open. So you can pick those up starting on June 1st as well if you just want to do the old paper book log, or you can always just write it down on a piece of paper and transfer it over. If you don't want to stop by the library, don't want to sit. If you come to Erlanger, where Miss Jill works, our drive-through line has been very long. We are the busiest library in Kentucky, so there's always a line for us, which is great. We love that our patrons are using us so much. Maybe you don't want to sit in the line just for a book log. You can pick one up later. It's not a big deal. We will honor your stats, I promise. All right, friends. Well, then today, for my last how-to, we are doing some gravity art. Now, I'm doing the indoor version. Some of you who have come to some of my programs in the library have probably done this with me before, but this is a super fun activity to do outside. It's just a little bit harder for Miss Jill to film outside, and it looks like it's going to rain here today, and we don't want to be caught in the middle of a thunderstorm outside. So what you need for this, now you could use a variety of materials. I am just using, I have a nifty little tray here that I used to catch my spills and things. You've seen me use this before. So just something to maybe clean up the mess. You could have just paper down or just be on a table that you can wipe off easily. Or like I said, outside where it doesn't matter exactly how messy you get. Then you need paper. I have some cardstock and then just some regular paper as well. Thicker paper, if you can get it, is going to work a little bit better depending upon what you use, just because it'll soak up more of the moisture and it's not just going to be a soaking wet paper and it'll dry a little bit faster. I'm just using water and food coloring, and this looks orange, this is yellow. I'm just using red, yellow, and blue, just regular, just food coloring that you just buy at the grocery store. You probably have some in your pantry. Now, if you have liquid watercolor at home, if you do lots of crafts, you might have some of that. You can use paint, obviously, or really anything else that you want. But today, we are just using, like I said, food coloring and water mixed together, and then I have a little pipette dropper here that I'm going to use. This, you could use a medicine dropper if you have that, especially if you're just using food coloring and water because it's food safe. If you are using paint or liquid watercolor, maybe check if it's non-toxic, because you don't want to have something that you put medicine in being used in something toxic, because that's would defeat the whole purpose of all the medicine. So here we go. Here's one example. Now, I tried to make this as color rich as I could, but you just never know. It's all about experimentation, because I did one sample here. Here's my sample. You can see there the colors are really, really light. I didn't put a ton of food coloring in per water. I probably put way too much water in my glasses. I don't know why I filled it up that much. I would fill less water, more food coloring, to have it be more rich in color. So now I'm going to take my dropper. Now, let me lower my camera here a little bit. For those of you that maybe are not familiar with pipettes, I'm sure all the adults know how to use them, but just in case, you'll squeeze the top of it, put it in your liquid, let it go. It'll go up inside, and then gravity is going to do the rest for us. We'll do it long ways. And you can just go all along the top. This is yellow, so it might be a little bit hard to see, but I'm dropping it up along the top. Let me hold this up here so you can see a little bit better. The blue and the red will hopefully show up a little bit better on my camera, but there it is, dripping down my page. So there's yellow. Now you can buy fancier colors of food coloring at the store. I just bought the basic pack of the red, blue, yellow, and green is in there as well, but you can get like the neon ones. You can buy specialty colors as well. So there goes the red down the page. But your colors will blend together to make other colors. Like I've got some orange going on now because red and yellow of course make orange. This can be a really fun activity to do with older kids. They have a lot of fun with it, but littles like it a lot too. And then you can talk about colors and color blending and what colors you mix together to make new ones. And it can be a lot of fun. Now purple is always the hardest color to get. I tried to get a little bit of purple. I don't think it turned out super great, but I did get some green, and there we go. So that's just nice and simple. Just a nice, simple, just let the gravity do the work. Now, if you were using paint, you could do the same thing where paint rolls down the page, or you could just drop it out of your dropper like this. If you don't have one of these droppers at home, you could use a spoon or a little cup or really anything. You just want to be careful that if you're using something super liquidy like me, it's not just gonna be completely spilled whenever you use it. But I'm sure you can figure that out and make it happen. So I'm gonna set this one off to the side so we don't get food coloring all over everything. We're gonna do another example. Now, one thing that I like to do if I'm using paint with this is you can dip things in the paint, and especially if you're outside, then you can drop things on top of it. It works a little bit with the food coloring and watercolor as well, but you don't get quite as much of an effect whenever you drop it down. It doesn't splatter quite as well. And paint is super cool. We like to dip little like cotton balls or pom-poms in paint, and then you can drop it from really any height, and you can see the difference in what the different materials make. And it can be super fun, super messy, which is why I say you should probably do it outside. But if you want to do it inside your house, go for it. Now, another fun thing you can do is turn this into then also water resistant art. So here I have another piece of paper, and I'm just going to draw about a heart on here. I'm gonna color it in as best as I can. Now you wanna use a crayon for this. Normally I like use whatever you want, markers, colored pencils, whatever. You need to use a crayon because the wax is what makes it resistant to the water, obviously. But just in case you didn't know, or maybe your kiddo watching at home and wanna try this, gotta use a crayon. And it can be a super fun way to add some extra color into your picture. Now I'm just coloring this quickly on my leg, so it's not perfect. It's kind of a lopsided heart, but I still love it nonetheless. There we go, there's our little heart. We're gonna do the same thing. Like I said, I just have 3 colors, but maybe you have more colors at home that you can use. And I still had blue in my yellow, so I already have sort of green. It's kind of hard to see there, green in my dropper, but here we go. And it will run over the heart, but the heart overall stays there on the page. So, and eventually then you can sort of, it's gonna stick to where the wax wasn't, but you can, I don't know why I did yellow, you can't see yellow very well. I apologize for that, friends, but you can kind of push then the extra little droplets down the page. So it's getting cloudy outside, so it's a little bit darker where I normally sit as well. So let's do some red now again. We're gonna do red, we're gonna really mix it in there like that. And there, that you can see a little bit better. Set that down. you can see it sort of forms little droplets where the wax is. Like if you go and get your car washed and you get wax on there, then you see the little water droplets start to ball up a little bit and then they just fall away. That's what's happening with the crayon as well. All right, now let's do blue just for fun. And you don't have to keep it the same way because gravity, no matter what, is gonna drag it down. So let's just get a little crazy and do it going this direction now. Just for fun. It looks like it's maybe turning it a little bit brown, but that's okay. We're gonna add some more blue on there. Again. Another really fun thing to do with, especially if you have paint at home, is if you have a little tray, let me tap that off. And there we go. So that when we've got sort of lines going across the page, you can make it look however you want. But another super fun thing to do is get marbles or little ping pong balls or bouncy balls or really anything that's gonna roll around. Put some paint in a tray with some paper and then the little marbles in there, and then you just move the tray. You set this off to dry. You just move it back and forth around like this, and then the marbles will roll through the paint and then across your paper and make a really, really cool picture. I didn't have paint at home, and I know lots of you have tuned in multiple weeks, know that I'm trying really hard to use materials that you probably already have at home or can easily get your hands on. I know not all of us have paint at home. I don't have any paint at home. I would have had to get some from work to test it out. But most of us have food coloring in our pantry or can easily pick some up next time we go out to the grocery store. It's usually pretty affordable as well. But you can do lots of super fun things. I hope that you all try this out. You can use big giant pieces of paper, maybe get a paper grocery bag and cut it to where you have a big, masterpiece that you can use. We use big butcher paper at the library sometimes for stuff like this. So you can get super creative. I hope that you guys can find some fun things at home to maybe go outside and do the dropping activity. Like I said, that is one of my most favorite things to do. Another thing that you can do with painting like this is if you just have food coloring or liquid watercolor like this, you can put it in squirt guns if you have any of those at home. And then it's another fun thing to do outside. You can do it inside too, but it's getting warm out. We might as well get outside and do some fun things, right? But you can use that and you can squirt it right on the paper and it's super fun, make some really cool designs. And depending on what you're using, then, it's not gonna stain. Food coloring will a little bit, so if you are wearing white clothes, I don't advise doing that. I've seen many a shirt get stained at the library before. But yeah, so you can do lots of fun things with gravity art, my friends. I hope that you all try this out at home. I hope that you're all, staying safe, staying healthy. You can come use our drive-thrus at the library. They're open. You can get books. You do have to place them on hold first to be able to come and pick them up. And it does take a little bit longer than normal because we are only going in a few days a week currently. And we just have so many things to pull because all of you are putting so many things on hold, which we love, but it's just taking a little bit longer than normal. So please be patient with us. We appreciate all of you who have been using us. And we can't wait to see you back in the buildings on June 8th. Have a great afternoon, friends. Bye.